In Free City, heroes are easily recognized because they wear special sunglasses. They go on dangerous missions every day, causing chaos and destruction around the city. Civilians are so used to this that they carry on with their lives while ignoring the explosions around them. One day, a hero glides through the sky and lands right in the driver's seat next to a gorgeous woman. It's not his car or his wife, but because he's a hero he can do anything he wants. He takes off as the police chase him through the streets, causing multiple explosions and crashes. Meanwhile, Guy gets ready for work at the bank. He follows the same routine every day, wears the same clothes, and has exactly the same coffee order. Guy loves living in Free City and thinks he has the perfect life. His best friend is Buddy, the bank's security guard. The only thing missing in his life is a girlfriend, and Guy often feels envy when he sees couples. When a bunch of robbers with sunglasses enter the bank, Guy and Buddy just hide and wait while chatting casually. In a dark alley, a mysterious man waits for Molotov Girl, who lands behind him. He says he has proof of a secret level, but when she asks for a clip, he says he doesn't have it. Molotov Girl threatens him with her gun, so he shows her a map to find the building that contains the clip. She pays him for it and tells him not to ask questions, but since the man asks her why she wants the clip, she shoots him before leaving. While Molotov Girl walks down the street, she guesses what the people around her will say. Guy and Buddy are also walking nearby, and when Guy sees her, he immediately feels attracted to her. He hears her sing something and tells her he likes the song, which shocks her because civilians usually don't comment on her actions. After she walks away, Guy announces that's his dream girl, but Buddy points out she was wearing glasses so she would never talk to her. Guy tries following her, but when he crosses the rails, he's hit by a train. In a cafe in the real world, Millie closes the game. It turns out Free City is a video game and the characters with glasses are players while everyone else is an NPC. Millie's character is Molotov Girl. She's now watching an ad for Free City 2, but she doesn't look excited. When a waitress comments on the game, Millie explains she has a lawsuit against the publisher company called Tsunami and only plays to gather evidence. Back to Guy, he starts his day feeling different. When he orders coffee and asks for something new, the barista doesn't know what to do and everyone stares at him in shock. A cop even threatens to shoot him, so Guy says he's just kidding and gets the usual. Later at the bank, Guy is bored instead of happy about his job, and he's annoyed when a new robber comes in. While waiting on the floor, he sees Molotov Girl outside. Suddenly he stands up and climbs over the counter while asking the robber for his sunglasses. In real life, the player is just a little girl confused by Guy's behavior. When Guy is about to take the sunglasses, the robber immediately starts beating him up. At first Guy can only fall and take it, but when he sees Molotov Girl again he gathers some bravery and starts fighting back. In the struggle, he manages to take the glasses but also fires the robber's gun, killing him. Afterward, Guy drops the gun and runs outside as he puts on the glasses. To his shock, a whole digital interface appears. There's a medical kit on the ground that the other NPCs can't see or touch, but when Guy grabs it he instantly gets healed. When a hero falls to the ground, money signs appear above him and by touching it, it goes straight to Guy's account. Now he can buy the sneakers he always wanted. Meanwhile, in the Tsunami office, Keys and Mouser notice Guy's actions and think it's a player using an NPC skin. Keys tries to kick Guy out of the game but can't trace him. Then they enter the game using a police officer and bunny costumes. They approach Guy and tell him to change his skin, but he doesn't understand what they mean. The duo thinks he's rebelling and opens fire, so Guy has to run away. He tries hiding in a construction site, but the Keys and Mouser quickly find him. The shots immediately continue, destroying various parts of the building as Guy runs to dodge them. At that moment, Guy notices that his shoes have an activate option and 3 jumps remaining. When he activates them, his body is thrown in the air and he lands on one of the floors above. The programmers are still coming for him, so Guy tries jumping again, only to hit the ceiling. He then hides behind a column, and when he finds an opening, he does his last jump. Guy reaches a very high floor and grabs some cables to avoid falling. Tired of running, Mouser modifies the code to transform the building and gain quicker access to the higher floors. The chase continues with more open fire, so Guy follows some glowing signs on a metal beam and jumps to try to reach a wrecking ball. Unfortunately, he misses and falls, but an option on his glasses activates a bubble suit that cushions his landing. Guy crawls out of the suit and celebrates his survival, only for the programmers to hit him with a car. Afterward, the duo logs out, but Keys is still confused because even though they killed Guy, the number of players online hasn't changed. Mouser thinks it's just a glitch, but Keys thinks they should talk to the CEO. While they chat about their programming experience, a flashback reveals that Keys used to work with Millie. They were best friends and together they developed a game called Life Itself. When Keys gets home, he discovers that Millie has broken in. It turns out Tsunami stole their game and Millie is angry with Keys for working for them. Keys reminds her that Tsunami bought their game and shelved it, but Millie doesn't believe it. She thinks the company used their code to make Free City. She wants Keys to help her prove it, but he refuses. Later, Millie logs in and sends Molotov Girl to the spot on the map she bought earlier. While she looks at a mysterious facility, Guy suddenly appears behind. She immediately brings him down and starts interrogating him, but the noise gives away her location. The guards in the facility open fire and Molotov Girl shoots a few bullets back before revealing a gun that allows her to open a portal. Guy follows her through the portal and they appear in a new area. While scolding Guy for ruining her mission, Molotov Girl uses a password on a container to access her secret hideout where she has lots of cool weapons and vehicles. She explains she's on a mission to steal something, and when Guy says he wants to help her, she tells him he needs to gain levels. He's just level 1 while she's 195, so he needs to be at least level 100 to join her. When Guy says he doesn't like hurting people, Molotov Girl points out he can steal things from the violent players. Then Guy returns to the city and begins fighting all the armed heroes to protect his NPC friends, only to get killed every time. He respawns on his bed every morning and tries again, refusing to give up. All this practice helps him get better, and soon he's actually defeating the players to get their money. This curious way of playing the game makes him go viral in the real world, with influencers and reporters talking about him while wondering who is the player behind this. Kids even start dressing up as Guy, seeing him as a hero. When Guy earns level 102, he decides to visit Buddy at the bank. The moment is interrupted by a robber and everyone immediately drops to the floor except for Guy, who keeps talking casually. The robber tries to threaten Guy, but he steals the gun to keep him back and takes his glasses, which he hands to his friend. However, Buddy is too scared to grab them. Meanwhile, Keys gets messages from Millie begging for help. He hides in the office bathroom with a laptop and opens a door in the mysterious facility so Molotov Girl can get inside. He also tells her the location of the clip she needs, but as soon as she grabs it, the building goes on red alert and a bunch of guards appear. When they open fire, Molotov Girl is forced to hide and accidentally drops the clip in the process. Keys wants to help her but doesn't have access to the building. Suddenly Guy bursts in through the window on a bike and quickly runs over all the guards to bring them down. When he and Molotov Girl try to leave, more enemies surround them, and Keys doesn't understand who Molotov Girl is talking to. A hand-to-hand battle ensues and Guy falls deeper in love with Molotov Girl as he watches her fight with impressive skill. The enemies come after him too and he defends himself with his new equipment. The guards just keep respawning, so the duo jumps on the bike to escape. Molotov Girl keeps shooting at the enemies while Guy drives them through the window. Then she activates a glider so they fly off safely. At the office, CEO Antoine arrives and immediately starts treating employees horribly, even firing a few of them just because. Antoine tells Mouser not to get rid of Guy because he's good publicity. Instead, he asks the art team to make a skin that looks like Guy for Free City 2. When the team explains they're already behind importing the skins from Free City 1, Antoine reveals the game won't be backward compatible as promised and he just lied in the interviews for marketing reasons. Keys thinks they should make a new original game, but Antoine wants to get more money from IP recognition. After Antoine leaves, Keys begins investigating Guy and finds some strange things on his code. In the game, Guy shows Molotov Girl his new collection of vehicles and tells her about his level up. Then they go out for ice cream and bond over their love for weird jokes and bubblegum flavor. Guy shocks her when he asks for a kiss, but she still accepts. The kiss is very nice and Molotov Girl tells him her real name before she leaves. In the real world, Millie logs out when she hears someone pounding on her door. It's Keys, who tells her she was right all along. Their code is indeed in Free City. Their original game was about characters that could grow and change, so they programmed an AI that could achieve that. That AI is what now caused Guy to be an independent NPC. Millie freaks out while telling Keys about the kiss, but they're both excited about the fact they created sentient AI. At that moment, Keys realizes that Antoine won't make Free City 2 backward compatible because it'll be a replacement without the old code, so there will be no proof left behind. The new game will launch in 48 hours, so they need to find the proof in the game fast. Then Millie logs in as Molotov Girl and invites Guy to come to the central hub where players gather. She explains that this is a game and he's just an NPC, causing him to freak out and say he loves her. When Millie tells him that those feelings are programmed, Guy storms out of the hub. Millie follows him while begging for his help on her mission, but he doesn't see a point in doing anything if it's fake and takes out his glasses before leaving. Afterward, a depressed Guy walks through the city, not caring about all the explosions or getting punched. Eventually he makes it to the beach and tries throwing a rock at the sea, but it vanishes when it hits the game's boundary. However, when his own hand touches the boundary, it goes right through it. Furious, he returns to the city and starts insulting the other NPCs while yelling that nothing matters because it's all fake, only to be run over by a car. Afterward, Guy visits Buddy and asks him what he'd do if he learned he wasn't real. Buddy says he wouldn't care because even if he wasn't real, this moment is. Feeling inspired, Guy invites Buddy to go on a mission. Moments later, the duo is inside the mysterious facility and meets the owner Revengeman, who recognizes Guy and reveals he's a big fan. While the player behind Revengeman starts streaming the conversation, Revengeman gladly gives Guy the clip of the secret level he found some time ago, explaining he was never able to go back because the glitch has been patched. Then Revengeman starts getting really weird while asking Guy to do things for the stream, so Guy and Buddy leave. Later at Molotov Girl's hideout, Guy talks to the offline avatar until Millie logs in and he gives her the clip. Meanwhile, in the real world, players all around the world share how Guy has made them change the way they play video games. Killing for fun is messed up even if it's just NPC, so they want to do good instead. This causes the pre-orders for Free City 2 to go down a lot, which infuriates Antoine. He tells his team to ban the player controlling Guy, so Keys has to explain they can't because Guy is a self-aware NPC. Antoine announces they'll do a server reboot instead. In the game, Guy and Molotov Girl watch the clip and discover that Revengeman found an area with the designs of the original game. Guy says he recognizes the place, but before he can share details, the game goes offline. All the player avatars freeze and players panic while Guy is the only one that can move. Then the game resets. The next time Guy wakes up, he's back to his old self. While he follows his routine, Molotov Girls approaches him to mention all the things they did together, but he can't remember anything and just keeps walking. Millie calls Keys and he tells her that an AI can't be erased with just a reboot, so Guy's code must be hiding somewhere. After some research, he realizes Guy is a character he created for the original game who was destined to never meet his dream girl. Since that girl was based on Millie, seeing Molotov Girl triggered Guy's AI evolution. Millie logs in again and sends Molotov Girl to the bank, where she kidnaps Guy. She takes him to an alley and forces him to put on the glasses at gunpoint. While he freaks out at the interface, Molotov Girl explains that in 24 hours his world will disappear. He still doesn't believe her, so after blowing up a police car looking for them, Molotov Girl kisses Guy and triggers his memory. Afterward, Guy takes her to his apartment and shows her that the reflection on his blind shows the original game's designs. Millie realizes that Antoine hid their design past the horizon to keep it invisible but forgot to delete the reflections. She calls Keys to share the information and they make a plan with Guy's help. Later by the river, Guy gathers all the NPCs and gives a speech on how life can be so much more than the same boring routine. At first the crowd is skeptical, but when the barista says she wants to make new kinds of coffee, everyone gets on board. The next time players appear in the city, they find the whole place empty. The news goes viral and people start discussing theories, including the possibility of Guy not being a player. At the office, Antoine is panicking until an employee shows him the footage of Revengeman meeting with Guy, who mentioned Millie during their chat. More footage shows that Guy is currently in a car with Molotov Girl, so Antoine guesses that's Millie and asks Mouser to ban her. However, Mouser can't do it because her account is protected. When Antoine orders him to turn off respawning and kill everyone for good, Mouser points out it'll affect players too, but Antoine doesn't care. In the game, the buildings begin crumbling to try to crush the car with Guy and Molotov Girl. Guy does his best to dodge it all and Keys builds a bridge that allows them to drive out of the city just in time. Back to Antoine, he refuses to give up and tells the art team to release the improved Guy skin that they were making for the new game. Then he talks to Keys and finally admits he used their code because his calculations told him that the original game would fail. Keys reminds him that profits aren't everything that matters and presses a button on his computer. In the game, a building comes down to form a bridge on the sea. Antoine orders Mouser to kick all the players out of the game, so Molotov Girl disappears from the beach. Keys is fired from the company, but on his way out, he activates the streaming option so the whole world can watch what's happening. When Guy is about to cross the bridge, he's suddenly knocked down by the improved skin called Dude. When Guy gets punched again, he loses his glasses. At that moment, Buddy comes to help and begins playing with Dude's chest, so he gets punched down too. Then Dude throws Buddy away before he starts beating Guy up. While Dude transforms his arm into the Red Hulk's punch, Guy manages to grab his glasses and makes Captain America's shield appear to block the attack. Next, Guy also uses Hulk's punch to throw Dude away, followed by summoning a metapack to heal himself. Dude tries to attack again and Guy defends himself with a lightsaber, followed by a portal gun that sends Dude through the ceiling. When Dude tackles Guy and starts pressing his chest, Guy lends him his glasses and now a very confused Dude runs after all the shiny things appearing around him. While Guy and Buddy head to the bridge, Antoine decides he must destroy the servers. Keys sees this and warns Millie. Antoine begins attacking the computer with an axe and the city in the game starts to disappear. All the NPCs run in panic while Mouser tells Antoine he's going too far, so a guard drags him away. Soon the bridge starts breaking too and Buddy has to say goodbye to Guy before he disappears. Guy runs as fast as he can and when the destruction is about to reach him, he jumps through the boundary. The second Guy lands, the code of the original game appears on the screen in the shape of an island. Millie confronts Antoine and shows him it's over, but Antoine wants to finish destroying the servers for revenge. Instead, Millie offers him a deal. He gets to keep all the rights to Free City as long as she gets her code back. Since he only cares about the profits, he quickly agrees. Sometime later, the news announces that Free City 2 is a failure because without Millie's code, the game is nothing but bugs and lag. Now Antoine is dealing with his downfall, claiming he's a victim. Meanwhile, Millie and Keys release their game with the help of Mouser and is an absolute success. Now Guy and the other NPCs live in a peaceful world full of creativity. Millie visits Guy by using the same Molotov Girl avatar and Guy tells her he understands they can't be together. However, he also points out that his love for her was programmed by Keys, which means Keys has been in love with her all along. Millie cries as she looks at the code and finds a video of Keys admitting this. She runs out of her apartment and meets with Keys in the middle of the street to share a kiss. Meanwhile, Guy is befriending Dude but admits he misses Buddy. Luckily, the programmers manage to bring him back and Guy reunites with his best friend. Now they can start a new life doing whatever they want. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.